Welcome to the UTG at Work podcast. I'm Deacon Mike. I'm the executive director of an apostolate called UTG at Work. Our mission is to help women and men joyfully live their faith and witness to Christ in the gospel in the workplace. I'm happy to be with you as we explore the Sunday gospel in ways that help people who work. You can find this podcast as well as helpful articles, videos, and other materials on our website, which is utgatwork.org. You can also subscribe to this podcast through Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and other podcasting sites, as well as on our own UTG at Work YouTube channel. This weekend we celebrate the First Sunday of Lent, and our gospel is a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Glory to you, O Lord. At that time, Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert to be tempted by the devil. He fasted for 40 days and 40 nights, and afterward he was hungry. The tempter approached and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, command that these stones become loaves of bread." He said in reply, "It is written, one does not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." The devil then took him to the holy city and made him stand on the parapet of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you, and with their hands they will support you, lest you dash your foot against a stone." Jesus answered him, "Again it is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Then the devil took him up to a very high mountain and showed him all the kingdoms of the world and their magnificence, and said to him, "All these I shall give you if you will prostrate yourself and worship me." At this Jesus said to him, "Get away, Satan. It is written, the Lord your God shall you worship, and him alone shall you serve." Then the devil left him, and behold, angels came and ministered to him. The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. I'm well aware that a homily should have a very clear link to the readings and to the liturgical season, but I'm going to take a little liberty here and make the tie-in just a bit loose. But I do have good reason. In today's gospel, Jesus is at the very start of his ministry. He's about to kick things off, and so he goes into the desert to be purified and tempted before he gets started. We're actually going backwards in the Gospel of Matthew from where we were last week. Last week we were in Matthew chapter 5, continuing through the Sermon on the Mount. Today we're in Matthew chapter 4, focusing on the temptation of Jesus prior to his ministry beginning. Now, the church does this, of course, because we're now in the season of Lent, the time when we're all asked to face our temptations head on with prayer and fasting and alms as we begin our journey toward the passion, death, and resurrection of the Lord. As Jesus begins his journey with a time of temptation, we do the same. But did you ever wonder about what Jesus was thinking in his 40 days and nights in the desert? We know that he was tempted. But that wasn't every minute of every day. There were undoubtedly times of boredom, of pondering in prayer, of trying to figure out how he was going to accomplish all that his Father was asking of him. Now, I have no biblical basis for my speculation here. In fact, I couldn't even find anything from the church fathers to support it. But I believe that we all have a tendency to see Jesus' thinking through our own lens. And so I ponder what I would be thinking in those long, quiet days alone. I would be pondering what's ahead. I would be thinking about how I can accomplish all that I need to do. I'd be contemplating the Psalms and the words of the prophets, thinking about how my life would fulfill many of them. I'd be thinking about how my life would end in sacrifice, and perhaps even generating a little bit of anxiety as I thought about how hard it would be. To put it simply, I would be planning. I'm a planner by nature, so I just can't help myself. Now, perhaps Jesus didn't need to plan. Perhaps being divine, he simply knew what to do at all times. I don't know. But one way or another, his time in the desert was a time of preparation for what was ahead of him. This week, I had similar thoughts as we were blessed with the birth of our first grandchild, a beautiful little girl named Clara Rosemarie. Now, please don't think that I believe that Clara was planning her life on her first few days out of her mother's womb. That would be silly. But all of us were pondering what she will be like when she grows up, what she'll like and what she'll dislike, what she'll do for a living one day, where she'll succeed and where she'll fail. All of us, from her wonderful parents to her grandparents on both sides to aunts and uncles and friends, send up prayers of thanksgiving for her healthy birth and of petition for a healthy, happy life ahead. Granted, we all may have prayed in our own way, but I know that I was praying for her. The joy that you experience as a grandparent is hard to explain. There's all of the love that comes with a newborn, but precious little of the responsibility. I once heard an old deacon say it this way. When he was a parent, it was like taking his children through the woods on a walk. He was entirely focused on making sure that they didn't trip, run into an animal that could harm them, or wander off the path. He didn't really enjoy the walk. He was the protector. Now that he's a grandparent, he's on that same walk, but he's enjoying the beauty of nature, contemplating all the various creatures that God created and feeling the sunlight stream through the leaves. And as Jesus contemplated his eventual death while out in the desert, I was profoundly impacted by the connection to death in Clara's first day of life. You see, when my mother was on her deathbed back in July, my daughter came to visit her. My mother couldn't speak. She was actively dying. But my daughter went into the room and whispered to her that she was pregnant. Mom didn't say anything because she couldn't, but her body language said that she understood. My mother's name was Rosemarie, and Clara's middle name honors her memory. So, welcome to the world, baby Clara. You have so much to look forward to, and you will be so tempted to turn away from the light. I pray that you find the Lord, hold fast to him throughout your life, and one day meet the wonderful lady from whom you got your name when you are both in heaven. In fact, I hope to be there when the two of you meet. A proud grandpa who loves you both. Thanks for joining me for this week's UTG at Work podcast. I look forward to meeting again next week. In the meantime, I encourage you to boldly live your faith in the workplace in the week ahead. I'll pray for your success, and I ask that you pray for the success of this UTG at Work apostolate. If you want to learn more about us, please visit utgatwork.org. Now go in peace, glorifying the Lord by your life.